spliced your date of birth. What's your date of birth on TikTok? What's your date of birth?
October
10/7/83. What's up, everybody? We are doing an impromptu Q&A live. So, for all your questions, we are going live on all platforms. So if you see me looking at different cameras, it's because I have my lovely team members here. Ooh. Here in the SC Law studio, and yeah, we'll be answering all of your immigration questions today. So for all the people who did not get to do a consultation, now is your time. What kind of attorney am I? I am an immigration and personal injury attorney. So big ups from Canada. Big up, big up, big up. Sir, I'm also live on TikTok, so all my TikTok fans, much respect. Thanks for joining. Shoot all of your questions, because the biggest thing is just giving you access and giving you information. Also, if you are in Panama City Beach, Fort Walton area, I will be in my Panama City Beach office on Thursday. This Thursday, May 23rd. I'll be in my Panama City office doing consultation, so you can give the office a call for consultation and mention this live. If you mention PCB live, you will get a discount on your consultation in person with me at our Panama City Beach office location. So let me jump into some questions. Someone said, hi, can I travel to Puerto Rico as a non-immigrant since it's a U.S. territory? Absolutely. It's the same thing as traveling from Florida to Texas. It doesn't matter if you're documented or undocumented. As long as you have valid ID, you can travel. There's always some amount of risk when you're traveling out of status or without the proper legal documentation. There's some kind of risk, but I mean, even just stepping outside your house, there's some risk. So the answer is yes, you can travel. Yes, big up Jamaica College. Somebody said, if I'm getting married to someone in the military, can we send an invitation to my mother in Jamaica for her to attend? Absolutely, you can definitely send an invitation to your mother. But if your mother has never had a visitor's visa, it may be challenging. I mean, you can definitely send that invitation letter, which will highlight that you are in the US, you are getting married to somebody in the military, you do have the finances to support her, you will be buying the ticket, this is her length of stay. So you can definitely try. Maybe challenging if she's never traveled before or never had a visa or had visa issues in the past, but it's always worth a shot. All right, and definitely make your wife do that invitation. All right, sweet Puncy. All right, love from Colorado. Thank you so much. Colorado is definitely one of my favorite states to visit, and we're hoping to have an office there soon. All right, can you return to the US if you were deported over 10 years ago? Yes, definitely. The law allows you to file petitions for if you were deported, but there are more things that we would need to know. We would need to know why you got deported. We would need to know if you got deported for some type of violent crime. Is it just for overstaying? Is it for a misdemeanor? Is it for a felony? Those are the things that we would need to know, because there's some there are some instances where you may be permanently barred from returning to the country. So it's definitely something that you'd want to schedule a consultation for, so we can look into your background and figure out if there's a waiver available for you to file, right? So I always tell people, if you got deported for drug trafficking, any type of violent crime or firearm related crime, and you are applying for a visa like a regular visitor's visa, the chances are slim to none. A work visa, slim, not none, but slim. If you have a petition from a family member, such as a spouse, or from a from a U.S. citizen child, then the chances increase. But we'll definitely need to know what was the reason that you were deported for. So, again, we can have this consultation in our Panama City Beach office this Thursday. If you mention PCB Live, you will get a discount for an in-person consultation where I'm going to dive deep into your case and really figure out what's going on and try to come up with some cutting-edge solutions as to how we can assist you. So PCB Live, mentioned that this Thursday live, Panama City Beach office location.
I have 2 questions here on TikTok.
2 questions from TikTok. Let's go.
First off, they salute you from Jamaica.
Okay.
What's the cost for a consultation with you?
So a cost for a consultation with me in person is $300. If it is over the phone, it's $200. And over the phone also means it can be done virtually as well. But if you're in person in Panama City Beach this Thursday, it will be discounted to meet with me in person. And I always say to people, if you're having an immigration challenge, an immigration situation, make sure you consult with an immigration attorney. It doesn't have to be me, but make sure you get the right information before you start your case or before your case gets worse. It hurts me when I start on a case and I look at when something expired, and I'd be like, man, I wish you had called somebody or called me earlier so that you would have had the right help.
Perfect. Right. Second question, I am going to school but want a visa. How can I go about that?
So if you're going to school and you want a student visa in the US, the best thing is to, one, figure out the place that you want to live, the type of studies that you want to get into, and you apply to that school. Figure out the requirements, how are you going to be eligible, and you apply to that school. Once you get accepted, then that school will issue an I-20, and then you can use that I-20 to go get an F1 visa. Typically, I recommend people going back to their home country and do the F1 visa via consular processing. But you definitely want to go through the application process first.
Okay, next question. Can H-1B holders apply for a green card on their own, or is the only route via their employer?
So H-1B visa holders. Okay, so to have an H-1B, typically you're a skilled immigrant and you have an advanced degree or experience equivalent to an advanced degree. Yes, you can transition to our green card on your own. There are 2 options. The EB-2 NIW. Right, so the EB-2 NIW, which is a self-petition, stands for EB-2 National Interest Waiver. You can do a self-petition, but you have to prove that you are at the top of your field. You have to prove that whatever mission that you are going to remain in the U.S. or come to the U.S., it has to have major impact, right? You have to show that in your field you have had impact and performed at the top of your class. Typically, they want to see that you've had a minimum 5 years work experience in your field. There's also an entrepreneur visa, which is a pretty new one, where you can actually come to the US and work in that business. So definitely set up a consultation to inquire more. But there are options, but those are typically the 2 options, right? Because unfortunately, with the H-1B visa, it doesn't allow you to transition to our green card on its own. Typically, you'd have to go through an employer, but those 2 options allow you to do self-petition.
I have more questions. If someone gets a 10-year green card before their 2-year anniversary, will there be consequences for not reporting it?
So if somebody gets a 10-year visa,
green card before their 2 year anniversary, will there be consequences for not reporting it?
no, no, absolutely not. I've had a lot of clients who who have gotten their 10-year green card um, without having to remove conditions. So if the officer gave you that and you have that green card in your hand, good for you. Just make sure that on the third year the third year of having that green card, you apply for your citizenship. So again, these are great questions for you that if you're in the Panama City Beach location, you can call and schedule an in-person consultation with me and my team live. Just mention PCB live when you call, and you can meet with me in person. All right. More TikTok?
Yes, I have more questions.
All
So
right.
we have over
TikTok is
200 people connected
over
on TikTok right now.
200 people on
Yes.
TikTok. Let's go.
So, hi, I'm from Nassau and want to relocate to the US. I am a wife and a mother of 4. How can I do that?
So if you are a wife and a mother of 4, how can you relocate to the US? Well, I mean, there are different ways. So immigration is always based on eligibility. So if you're a wife, is your husband non-American? If your husband is non-American, then we have to remove family-based petitions, right? So you definitely have to explore, are you eligible for an investment visa, a business visa? Are you going to go to school? Do we have an employer that can petition for you based on your skills? Are you being persecuted in your home country to where you can come to the US and try to file an asylum at the border? Do you have a liquid capital to where you can invest in a new or existing business where you could benefit from an E2 visa, which would allow you, your husband, and your children to benefit from? So there are different ways. Are you a member of a church to where a church could actually petition for you and your family as a religious worker? So many different ways. It's just based on your unique eligibility.
Perfect. If I cross the border and get married to a citizen, is it possible to get adjusted in the US?
So a very, very common question that I get asked at minimum 5 times a week. So the question is, if you cross the border and you enter the US, which means you have an illegal entry or you're uninspected, right? And you now marry a United States citizen, can you adjust your status? So the short answer is no, right? So an adjustment of status. So an adjustment of status means that you are changing your status from a non-immigrant to an immigrant while you're in the United States. But one of the major keys for adjusting your status in the US is you have to have had a legal entry. So there are some exceptions to that, but generally speaking, you have to have a legal entry. So if you cross the border and you fall in love and marry a United States citizen, typically what you'd have to file your I-130 petition for alien relative. Then you will have to go through consular processing and file a waiver in order for you to return into the US. So you file the waiver, you go back to your home country, you do an interview, you get that visa, and then you re-enter. So don't let anybody tell you that you can just marry a United States citizen and then you can adjust your status as if you had a legal entry. So there are some exceptions. So say for instance, if your US citizen spouse, if they are a member of the US military and armed forces, then you have something called parole in place. So if your spouse is a US military or member of the armed forces, you can adjust your status in the US if you had a legal entry. Then also, if you got married to a United States citizen, you enter the country legally, but then somehow that marriage fell apart because of abuse, abandonment, financial abuse, then you can file a vow. But we'll have to see if you are eligible, right? So there are different things that we have to go through in your case to see if that's something that you'll be eligible for, which would warrant a consultation So if you are in Panama City Beach or its areas, you can come and see myself and my team this Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in our Panama City Beach location. We will be doing consultations there in person. All you have to do is mention PCB Live and the consultations will be discounted. Hold on, let me give Instagram some love because we have on here, how many people do we have on here? We have 49 people and it's trending upwards. All right, so let me see.
We have a question on YouTube as well.
All right, hold on. My girlfriend has a 10-year green card through filing. If I get married to her, can you be naturalized? All right. So if your girlfriend has a 10-year green card, right? And you are other status. So if you are other status, yes, you can definitely get married to her, but she can definitely file a petition. But if you are outer status, you would not be able to adjust your status and get approved until she becomes a citizen because being a green card holder, marrying a green card holder, it's a different preferential category, which requires you, if you're out of status, it requires you to go back to your home country and go through consular processing. If you are in status, yes, you can adjust your status. If your girlfriend gets naturalized right now, well, you could be out of status or in status, and you would be able to adjust your status. But there are more details that we'd have to go through. All right. Someone said so the Sammy says, I have a case with your firm and I got my work permit and advance parole. Congrats. Is it a good idea to travel to Jamaica on that? 100%. An approved I-131 travel parole is the route that the government has given us for you to travel while you have a pending case. So yes, use it and return into the country with it. Definitely. And congrats again. YouTube.
Okay, so this is from Sharon. As a teacher from Jamaica
Sharon.
as a teacher from Jamaica on the teaching program, and your visa was canceled and you overstayed, is there anything that can be done to help you get a status?
Sharon, I'm so sorry to hear. Assuming that you entered on a J1 visa, I would definitely need to do a consultation with you to figure out if you have the type of J1 that you are on. But the unfortunate thing, people, is once you overstay your visa, right, it really limits the recourse. It really limits how you can transition to another type of visa, because you cannot, if you have lost your status, if you have overstayed, meaning the visa that you enter the country on, you have violated those terms, such as either you are no longer a full-time student, or you're no longer working for that company, or you have overstayed your visitor stay, and you have accrued unlawful presence. You can't have unlawful presence and switch to another type of visa. The only ways, generally speaking, the only ways that can turn overstay is asylum and marriage to a United States citizen, or if you have a U.S. citizen child that's 21 years or older. But again, there's more details that I need to find out. So again, you know what I'm going to say. If you're in Panama City Beach on Thursday, come and see us for a consultation. Please mention PCB Live. All right, let's go back to Instagram. We have 50 people on here. I'm a little smitten right now. Well, I haven't heard that word in a while, but pick up yourself. Okay. I have a 36-year-old girl with, I guess you're trying to say I am a 36-year-old girl. I'm a 36-year-old girl with 4 kids, and I am 28 years old. I'm a 36-year-old girl with 4 kids, and I'm a 28-year-old with a student visa. The girl says she can help me get my paper if she married me. Can immigration really tell if the marriage was fake? Good question. Yeah. Yes, immigration can 100% tell if your marriage is fake. Please delete that comment. Um, yeah, I mean, immigration. So the way how immigration officers look at a marriage-based petition, once they get that file, they automatically, and this is my opinion based on years of doing this, being on hundreds of marriage-based interviews, they immediately will assume that your marriage is fake. So they are looking for different things. They're looking for mismatched addresses. They're looking for misrepresentations made on your visa. They're looking for if you live together. They are assessing if you can answer the questions that are being asked. If you know basic information about your spouse. They they look at your body language. They look at your history. They look at your dating history. So it's your job as the applicant, as the petitioner, and as the attorney to prove your case that you are not in a fake marriage, but your marriage is for love and it is bona fide. So, but again, there are definitely more things that we need to dive into in a consultation.
I have more questions in TikTok.
All right, let's go TikTok.
Advice on advanced parole I-131. I lost my grandma and want to travel to Jamaica for her funeral.
All right, so I mean, if you have an approved I-131, definitely travel on it. If you are out of status and you don't have a petition pending, so that means you cannot have an I-131 travel parole. So that's something that you need to figure out. But if you do have some type of immigration petition pending, file an I-131 travel parole, and it gives you the permission to leave the country while you have a pending petition and re-enter the country.
I have another question. If you receive a target letter, how can that affect you entering back to the U.S.?
So someone is asking, if you receive a target letter, how does that affect you from re-entering the country? So what this person means is that they got a target letter from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, meaning the FBI, that they may be the subject or a party or a witness involved in an investigation. I do not advise traveling if you have gotten a target letter, because you don't know where they are in their investigation, and it's a situation that I've seen it happen. I've had to actually go to jail to meet my clients there, that they will take you off the plane. Once you come back in, they will take you off the plane. And I mean, it depends on where they are in the investigation. So very, very risky to travel, extremely risky. And I mean, you seem like a person that needs to come to Panama City Beach to my office to do a one-on-one consultation on Thursday. Mention PCB Live. What's our number?
Facebook?
No, our PC. We have so many phone numbers for our different
PCB
offices.
one.
I'm going to have somebody give me the Panama City Beach office, but you can go on clarkelawgroup.com for the phone number for our Panama City Beach office, or you can call 407-295-2138, or you can send a message on at S. Clarke Law or at Attorney Sekou, and somebody will direct you how to schedule a consultation for this Thursday in person, discounted. All right, let me continue.
I have a number, 850-403-6270.
All right, so Panama City Beach office is 850-403-6270.
403-6270.
All right, IG is climbing. Hello, everybody. Big up on yourself. I appreciate you guys jumping and staying on this impromptu live that we are doing. All right, can you get a green card if you have kids with an undocumented person? Can you get a green card if you get married to a person who is also undocumented? So the average lawyer will tell you, no, it is impossible. But this lawyer will tell you, for you as the parent, no, but for your kids, there is ISJ, right? For special immigrant juveniles, where if your children can prove that they have been neglected or abandoned, and then know they're in the custody of the state, they can get a green card through that, but it's usually more challenging for the parent. All right, but generally speaking, if you don't have the papers, if you don't have any papers, if you're undocumented, getting with somebody that's undocumented, it's not going to line up, unfortunately.
Got a good question in here. I've been here since January. What are the right steps to take?
So that's definitely one that needs a consultation, because we would have to go through your eligibility. If you've been here since January, I'm assuming that you entered on a B1, B2 visitors visa. It's three parts of eligibility. Are you eligible for a family-based petition? Are you eligible for an investor, a business? But you definitely need to know before your status runs out, because I'm assuming if you entered on a B1, B2 visitors visa, that means you have 6 months in the country. There are more options available to you when you're in status versus when you're out of status. So, ClarkeLawGroup.com, schedule a consultation to come and see me in Panama City Beach if that's where you are. All right, my I-130 petition for my husband is taking forever. I'm a 10-year green card holder. Yeah, that's tough. What does forever mean? We would definitely need to know more, like how long it's taking. Make sure you do your inquiries. Make sure you are checking your case. But you are able, if it's outside of the processing time, to call USCIS and file an actual inquiry as to why your case is outside of that allotted processing time, and that's something that our firm does as well. Ladies, what time is it?
6.
6 o'clock. So we're wrapping up on a few more questions. We're gonna do this live some more, because we have a lot of people.
Yes.
We have a lot of people on.
So we have one more on YouTube from Alexis.
Okay, hi Alexis.
It says, my husband works in the hospitality industry and has many guests express desire for him to come to the U.S. to work for them. What options do you have for to getting a work permit?
Okay, so this person, their husband seems to be an amazing person in the hospitality industry, probably a chef or somebody with really good managerial or executive skills. If you're outside of the country and you have an employer that is desirous of your talents, well, definitely have them either file an EB2. You can file an EB2 NIW if you're highly specialized, or they can do an EB3. So there are different options. We really have to dive deeper into their experience. How specialized is he? Did he go to culinary school? How much years experience? Who were his previous employers? Those are things that I'd want to know to be able to provide better advice as to the type of visa and petition that the employer can. But he has options. You just need to find out some more. All right, hold on. Let me take a few more on TikTok. So we're gonna answer these. No, on Instagram, we're gonna do rapid fire here. We're still at 50. Do you help with vaccine waivers, or know how long they take? So a vaccine waiver is for people who are adjusting their status and you have to do the vaccine, or if you're consular processing. So typically with the visa, with vaccine waivers, you really have to prove that you have not either that it's not just COVID vaccine that you were against, it was all other vaccines. So if you recently got shots, such as either for tetanus or polio or different vaccines over the course of your life, and you don't have a major religious exception, it's very difficult. But yeah, we do handle them, but they're very challenging. Perfect. Best of college man. My parents are retired U.S. citizens. Can they file for me? I am 44, childless and unmarried. Definitely. If you are outside of the country, your parents can petition for you if they're U.S. citizens. It may take a while because you'll be in the preferential category as unmarried child of a U.S. citizen. I think the waiting time for that is somewhere between 5 and 9 years at the moment, but they can definitely petition for you if you're outside of the country. Can a green card holder file for their husband in Jamaica? 100%. A green card holder can petition for their spouse outside of the country. They will go through consular processing. My daughter got her green card, however, she came back last August for school and haven't returned to the US since. Do you think that it will be canceled or she can return? So if our green card holder stays outside of the US for more than a year, typically you need to file documentation to say that they will be outside of the country or that green card will be deemed abandoned. So that's definitely something that you 100% need to contact an attorney about. All right. So if you need to contact an attorney, guess what? This attorney is available in Panama City Beach, Florida, this Thursday from 9 to 5, and it will be discounted if you mention PCB Live, and or you can send a DM to on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and mention PCB Live for that consultation. Do you take cases other attorneys have started? It depends. It depends on why you left that attorney. But yeah, we've worked on a lot of cases that previous attorneys have started. So we have no issues, but it's something that we would have to see the case and evaluate it, because suppose there isn't a case, right? And one thing that my firm is built on, that I've really built the culture, is we will not take your money if you don't have a case, right? If there isn't a case, I'm not going to take your money. If it's a 25% chance of success for that case, even though we don't offer 100% guarantees, we will tell you that you only have 25% chance. So it's up to you if you want to spend the money or not. Typically, we don't take those cases unless it's 50% or more chance, right? Because I'm not, myself and the team members here, we're all immigrants, so we're not in the business of taking an immigrant's money knowing that we cannot help them. We're not choppers here. All right, winding it down. Big up. My quest is, after a 2-year green card, how long do you have to wait till 10-year? So you have to, if you have your 2-year green card, I mean, you will have the date in which you have to file the I-751 removal of condition. So once you file that, then you'll get the timeline as to when you'll get your 10-year green card. Right now, there's up to like a 2-year waiting list. All right. My aunt was deported and she was advised to get a 212 waiver, which should be able to get back a visa. If it's, well, I need to know why your aunt was deported, what was the underlying crime, and if it's to get a tourist visa, like a visitor's visa, it's very, very challenging. Very, very challenging. I know everybody saw Buju Banton get deported for drug charges, and he was able to get back into the US in less than 10 years. Well, you know, it wasn't a visitor's visa. It was it definitely was not a visitor's visa he returned on. So keep that in mind. All right. Let's see. So many questions.
We have so many in TikTok too.
Same here in YouTube.
All right. TikTok.
So if a visa officer finds you to be fraudulent, do you have to sign any documents?
I definitely would not sign the documents. I've been in interviews before with my clients, and I'm so thankful that I was there, because once you sign that document, it means that you are agreeing that you made a misrepresentation, right? It's better to have an attorney go with you the next time. And it's also, it gives your attorney more power to fight that if they're alleging that there was a misrepresentation. So do not sign documentation that you don't understand and that you don't agree to.
You too.
Yes.
You too.
Okay, it says, if I left school from March 1st on my F1 visa, How long can I stay in status in the US, or am I still in status?
So if you are on an F1 visa, you are agreeing that you will be a full-time student, right? So if you left school and you are no longer a student, you are no longer in classes, the moment that your school reported to Nevis, you are now out of status. And typically you have between 30 to 60 days to leave the country. If you're on OPT, that's a different story. But if you just left, the the moment that you left class and your school reports your status to Nevis, that's when you start to accrue unlawful presence.
Do you have an office in Orlando?
Yes, I'm in the Orlando office right now. We're at 121 South Orange Avenue, Suite 1270. We're in the middle of downtown, and we have offices in Panama City Beach. We will be there this Thursday. Mention PCB Live for a discounted in-person interview. We have an office in New York City, Queens, New York. We have offices in Kingston, Jamaica. And we also have a location in Fort Lauderdale as well, and more locations to come. So, everybody, it was so amazing doing this. We definitely have to do it again because we're here on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. I love answering these questions. You know where to find us. And again, the last time mentioned PCB Live in the DMs to get a discount for your immigration consultation in our Panama City Beach location. Tell a friend, tell them to mention PCB Live, DM or call us 407-295-2138 or go to clarklawgroup.com. Big shout out to the team of ladies who stayed back to make sure that this live was happening. And I guess we have to do more. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Bless up. Big up on yourself.